This is what happens to Carlos after Descendants 3. What will happen to all the Descendants after the events of Descendants 3? With the events of Descendants 2, one can only wonder what's next in the chapter for this mischievous gang. Will Uma turn good? Will Mal turn back to evil given she's assumed to meet her father? And what about Carlos? Rumor has it he's not to return after Descendants 3. Let's dive into all these rumors and more.
Before we hop into the video, remember to subscribe and turn notifications on. Also, don't forget to leave a like and comment down below saying you did so, and we will try to respond to as many of you as we can.
Carlos. Carlos is an important character we need to talk about. Rumor has it that Carlos will not be in Descendants 4, if that is there even is a Descendants 4. While we don't know much, rumor is to be believed that Cameron Boyce, the actor who plays Carlos in the Descendants films, is leaving Disney for good after filming wraps for Descendants 3. According to an interview done by Vulcan, Cameron has stated, quote, "It feels a little like a mandatory culmination, a part of every Disney actor's story. My term has been abnormally long for the average Disney kid. Most only last 3 or 4 years. I've been around the Disney Channel for 7 years, so this has been on the horizon for a while. And even now, I can't say for sure that I'm out after the uproar from Descendants fans insisting on a Descendants 3. So I could be in for one last ride after all. That being said, it's hard not to be excited. This is what I've been gearing up for 3 or 4 years. I visualize my future daily, and I'm watching myself and my team craft it right before my eyes. I'm as ready as I am excited." If we carefully evaluate the words he said, he stated, "I could be in for one last ride after all." What this means is he might be leaving after Descendants 3, and maybe, just maybe, he might be staying for Descendants 4. It all really depends, but we'll have to see exactly what happens in Descendants 3. Mal. We last saw Mal at the end of Descendants 2 defeat Uma, or so we thought, and start to live a happily ever after life with Ben in Aradan. In the official teaser trailer for Descendants 3, you'll find the link in the description down below, we see what appears to be Mal touching a will-o'-the-wisp from Disney Pixar's Brave. As she touches it, she then realizes her long-lost father is calling out to her. Who is her father? Well, it has been confirmed her father will be Hades, played by Cheyenne Jackson, who is mostly known for his role as Will Drake in American Horror Story. In the second teaser trailer for the film, titled Teaser: Threat to Aradan, we see a glimpse into what Mal's father will look like, a glimpse into Dr. Facilier, and even a look at what appears to be Ben having beastly powers like his father. Given Mal's father is appearing in Descendants 3, what will happen to Mal after the events of the film? According to rumors, she will potentially go up against her father, defeating him with the help of Ben, Evey, Carlos, Jay, and the other Descendants, and even Uma. Dove Cameron herself has stated she's in for being a part of more films, if that is there will be any more, and she hopes that there will be a 4th, a 5th, and even a 6th. Either way, she's in it till the end. For now though, we simply have to be under the slumber of pure speculation until Descendants 3 comes out in summer 2019. Uma. Last time we saw Uma, she told us, quote, "You didn't think this was the end of the story, did you?" End quote. As soon as she said that, we all instantly knew Descendants 3 was not too far under the sea. In Descendants 2, she was considered the villain of the film, but deep down, she really didn't want to be the villain. All she really wanted was to be loved. She felt forgotten, neglected, and even jealous that Mal and the other VKs had a chance at a new life, but not her. Uma is indeed back in Descendants 3, of course, and this time around it seems that Uma may have a different heart. In the second teaser trailer for D3, we see Uma and the other VKs teaming up to fight some ominous threat to Aradan, who most likely is Mal's father, Hades. Our guess is after the events of Descendants 3, Uma will most likely be invited to live on Aradan and get a second chance at a new life. However, there's also a big possibility that Uma could be teaming up with Hades or even Dr. Facilier for a chance at revenge against Mal. In an interview done by Star News Online, China Ann McClain, the actress who plays Uma, says, quote, "Uma's getting into trouble as usual in Descendants 3. I actually did additional digital recording for the film recently and everything's looking very good so far. Uma's going to surprise people in D3, I think. You will see a side of her that has been pretty hidden up till now." End quote. For now, we are poor unfortunate souls as we have to wait to find out just how surprising Uma will be in D3. Evey. Evey is a VK by birth, but deep down, she's not really rotten to the core. In fact, she's quite the opposite. With a love for fashion and design, she's bound to take on a career in fashion in her future. She theoretically has the potential to be the next Edna Mode of Auradon. Enough about Evey and her love for fashion. Let's talk about how fierce she is. In the teaser for D3, we get a small glimpse into her true potential as a fierce leader. She stands by her best friend Mal no matter what, and is willing to do what it takes to stick with her till the end. That even means risking her life to help Mal defeat her father. While in the teaser trailer we don't see much of her, we do see her in this area labeled Evey Alley, as well as see her take charge with the sword. Again, there's only so much we have to go on in order to figure out what's going to happen to her after D3, but one can only guess that if she makes it, and assuming she doesn't risk her life for Mal's, she'll most likely start some sort of business in Auradon. Jay. If we look at Jay has less of a role in the films as opposed to the other VKs. Even Carlos has more screen time than Jay. The two main VKs are Mal and Evey. After that, you have Carlos and Jay. Unfortunately for Boo Boo Stewart, the actor who plays Jay in Descendants, Jay is more of a supporting role character. Personally, we think Jay could have way more screen time and has untapped potential in the series given his profound thieving abilities learned from his father Jafar. Hopefully, in Descendants 3, Jay has more of a role to play in the story. Perhaps Jay will be able to use his talents to steal something from Hades, giving the VK some leverage in the fight. Assuming Jay makes it, the ending for Jay could possibly be a happily ever after. After all, we did see a love interest for him in Descendants 2, who was Lonnie, the daughter of Mulan. Will we see a return of her in D3? Maybe, but we're not sure. The new VKs. If you didn't already know, Descendants 3 will bring about new VKs to the screen. In Descendants 2, we were introduced to Uma, daughter of Ursula, who's played by China Anne McClain, Harry Hook, son of Captain Hook, who's played by Thomas Doherty, and Gil, son of Gaston, who is played by Dylan Playfair. In Descendants 3, we'll be introduced to 3 new characters: Celia, the daughter of Dr. Facilier, who is played by Jada Marie, Squeaky, the son of Smee, who is played by Christian Convery, and then lastly Squirmy, the twin brother of Squeaky, who is played by Luke Rossler. Given we don't know much of anything about these characters, we can't really tell yet what will happen to them during the events of D3. Given that we have 3 new VKs, we will indeed be getting to see some new adult villains: Hades, the father of Mal, Dr. Facilier, the father of Celia, and then Smee, the father of both Squeaky and Squirmy. If we take a look back at Descendants 1, we see 3 female adult villains: the Evil Queen, Maleficent, and Cruella de Vil. In Descendants 3, we see a flip-flop of sorts as we get 3 male adult villains. Perhaps Smee and Dr. Facilier will be aiding Hades in whatever plan is up his sleeve, but only time will tell. In the end, it is to believe that these new VKs, along with all the other villain kids on the Isle of the Lost, will finally come home to Auradon, allowing them all to get a second chance. Even though all of the villain kids may make it to Auradon, don't hold your breath for the adult villains. If rumors to be believed, they will all stay on the Isle as punishment for their prior crimes. So what will happen after Descendants 3? In the final conclusion of Descendants 3, what will happen to the franchise as a whole? Given how popular this franchise is and how many people love it, you would think that there could be a possibility for a 4th film. Another factor is there are actually a total of 4 Descendants books written by Melissa de la Cruz. Books 2 and 3, Return to the Isle of the Lost and Rise of the Isle of the Lost, were the books used for inspiration behind the 1st and 2nd Descendants films. For Descendants 3, there was no source material to go off for the 3rd film, so a new storyline was created for the purposes of continuing the story. Apparently, we had thought there was no source material, but Melissa de la Cruz is actually going to be releasing yet another book later this summer. Her 4th book, titled Escape from the Isle of the Lost, is the final conclusion in the book series that tells the events of what happened after the Descendants 2 movie. While we do not have a date on when Descendants 3 is coming out, this new book will be coming out on May 7th, 2019. If this book is to debut before the premiere of D3, we may just be able to get our hands on a look at what is in store for the film. If the film debuts before the book is out, well, we may just have to see how accurately the books follow the movie. However, in light of the book's May 7th, 2019 release date, there's a big possibility Descendants 3 will indeed be released that very same day. Given Book 1, The Isle of the Lost, was not used in movie material, they could very well do a prequel, so to speak, telling the story of how the villains and VKs ended up on the Isle. Fingers crossed. Conclusion. We have explored the many possibilities of what will happen after Descendants 3. While we only touched on some things, these are just the surface of what could appear in the film itself. only time will tell later this summer. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends who you think would want to know what happens after Descendants 3. When you're done, make sure to leave a comment down below telling us what your favorite rumor is, if you have a rumor of your own, or even what you're looking forward to seeing the most in D3. And as Walt Disney once said, the more you're like yourself, the less you are like anyone else, which makes you unique. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us at EndZone today, and we'll see you next time.